lost my legs in the first round. But I told myself, this guy's not going to knock me out. He's not going to submit me. And I'm going to give him hell. And I thought I did great. I mean, compared, to his experience, Matt Brown's experience. And I know Johny Hendricks has fought him and beat him as well. But I learned a lot from that fight with my wrestling defense, my jiu-jitsu, and I think I've come a long way.
Speaking of weight cutting, do you have any concern that Hendricks will come in extremely ballooned up and just a lot heavier than you?
No, I think he's walking around a lot of weight right now. And of course, he's saying he's walking around at 173. I don't necessarily, believe in that, but I know he's walking around a lot of weight, which means when he steps in the cage, he will be lighter. It doesn't mean he's not a powerful or strong guy, but I think he's going to come in better shape than he has before because he's walking around a lot of weight. I think we're going to see the best Johny Hendricks, and that's what I want.
How did you get the news that you were going to be like in the main fight instead of like?
Actually, when I found out that Cain Velasquez and Verdun wasn't happening, they couldn't find a fighter for Stipe. I wanted the fight, so we talked to Joe Silva. I was like, "Listen, we want this five-minute round fight," and he's like, "I'll get back with you." And next thing you know, he's calling back. He says, "It's on." So that's pretty much all he said was, "It's on." I'm like, "Yes," I want to show the UFC, I want to show the fans, like I've said before, that I'm ready for that next step of competition. I want that title belt. And I think this is definitely going to prepare me for that.
This will be your first 5-round fight, correct?
Actually, my second. My last fight was with Jake Ellenberger, main event for the tough finale. That was scheduled for 5 fights. It went 1, but I'm always prepared and ready and in shape for a five-minute round.
Your style has so much movement to it. Is there any concern about getting tired?
No, it's just something that I've been doing my whole life. Starting at the age of 12, my full contact training, at the age of 12. My dad was had me training with world champions at the time. These were adults. And to me, I felt like they were trying to crush me. They were probably hitting me very lightly, but I had to rely on my movement to stay away from these guys, and that's something that I just kept in my game all the way up till now. So I'm used to the movement. I'm used to the dynamic explosiveness of my style, and lungs and legs, baby, lungs and legs, and that's how we train. So we're ready for it.
What's your natural stance?
My natural is more of a karate stance. I stance is fairly sideways. Normal guys will stand kind of straight on, target, body kind of straight on. I'm a little bit more sideways, my hands down. I don't know why, but I think it helps me move, distribute my weight a little bit easier. If you watch Muhammad Ali, that's something I learned from him. Hands were down, he was able to move his body weight a little bit easier. And it just works for me. People have their different styles, and I've been doing this since I was 3 years old. It just works for me.
But you wouldn't say you're southpaw or orthodox?
I work both, yes. I do both. And I think you have more weapons in your arsenal when you're able to switch sides like that. And you throw your opponent off.
Last question, I promise. With a win, where does that put you in line for a title shot, do you believe?
I think it's right there at the top. That's what I want. After this fight, I'm asking for a title shot with Robbie Lawler, and I think I deserve it. As a fighter, that's my goal, is to have that title belt around my waist. And I think a win over Johny Hendricks will put me there.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about Johny Hendricks, like his skills and how you compare his skills to yours?
Well, he's got a very strong wrestling background. He's got power in his hands. I know this. Went back and watched a lot of his footage, studied him. He hasn't made a whole lot of changes in his game. So I know what he's going to do. I know what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and use his left hand to cover that distance and end up getting me to the cage and try and take me down. He says he wants to stand there and bang with me. I disagree. I think once he feels the power in my hands and feet, he's going to want to take me down. So I've been working really hard on my takedown defense. I got guys like Matt Miller, Coach Tom, my wrestling coach back home. He's phenomenal. Carlos Machado, Ryan Hall. Got all these guys in my camp to help me build that and be ready for Johny Hendricks.
This is a bigger stage than your last fight, right? Do you feel pressure at all, or do you think the pressure is all on his shoulders?
No, I feel no pressure. He's been at the top. I think he has more to lose than I do. I can just go out there and fight, And when I go out there and when I win, I'm asking for that title shot.